Hello again, I'm Bob Colt. We're continuing conversations in Charlotte Public Schools. We're talking about gecko. What is that? It's not a little lizard or an animal or something, is it? I have three guests who will introduce themselves and tell me exactly what that is. Go ahead.
Sure. Hi, I'm Cassie Davis. I'm a teacher at Charlotte High School.
I'm Jenny Kessler. I'm a student at Charlotte High School.
And I'm Kathy Stoll. I'm a teacher here at Charlotte High School. And Jenny is one of our students that participates in GECKO. And we would like to explain a little bit about what GECKO is.
Yeah, so what is it? How do you explain this to people?
I say GECKO, it really kind of, the name represents what it stands for. So it stands for Giving Eaton County Kids Opportunities. So it's a work-based learning program, and we place students typically who are 16 years old in the program. And before they start, they have to take a safety test. So once they pass that, they're put into different job placements within the community. So right now we have 3 different job sites and 6 different students participating.
So it's a good start. And Jenny, you've got a gecko position. What does that mean for you? What will you be doing?
I'm doing office work at Eaton Risa as a secretary, and
Tell them what your jobs are.
answer phones and make copies, and I do inventory, computer work, and filing.
Great. So that's what this program was designed to do, just an introduction to the workplace? Talk a little bit about why that's so important for young people.
Well, Jenny started out last year as a freshman, kind of wondering what she wanted to do. Our job, Mrs. Davis and I, our job is to work with transitioning students out into real life. And we talk to the kids and we give them assessments to figure out what they like to do, what they're good at, and then we try and get them into opportunities that will present, opportunities for them to have skills, develop skills, and do a job that they're interested in. And Jenny has always said she wants to do secretarial work. So we worked with through the GECKO program, and they provided this opportunity, an amazing opportunity for her at Eaton Risa. And she started right in doing the secretarial work, and she just proved to be so good at it and picked up things so quickly that they were very excited about having her. And it was teaching her skills that would look good on a resume, something that she could take into the job world. And we were hoping it would lead to employment, but never dreamed it would be employment with them for the summer. So it's a great start, and we're hoping it's a paid position. We're assuming it's a paid position with ours. We're waiting to hear out the details yet, but she just got offered yesterday. So, and same with all of our other students. It's providing them with experience to put on a resume and that they can take out into the real world and apply.
We try to teach job skills in our classes, but a lot of that is hypothetical.
Yeah.
So this program gives them real world hands-on experience, and it's a very safe experience because there's a job coach on site. So she assists them with whatever tasks they have. And like a normal teenager who gets a part-time job, they have to answer to their boss, and the pressure is kind of off of them for this experience. So they get all the hands-on tasks, but they also don't have the pressure of having a boss.
Well, how important is that experience on the job for young people?
I think for a lot of our students it's really hard to make that leap between what we talk about hypothetically in the classroom and that authentic learning experience. And we've placed several students in different positions where they thought they wanted to be this, and once they start working they see what it's really like, and some have kind of chosen a different career path, and
that's a good thing.
Yeah,
right.
And to have that ability, that time to kind of make an alternate plan. I mean, it's great to do that while you're in high school instead of post-high school where you're on your own and you don't have all the supports that our students have. So.
And Jenny, are you doing things you like?
Yes.
And what would you like to do along with what you're doing?
What's your ultimate goal, Jenny? What would you
What would you like to do ultimately?
I like doing mostly like office work, so
So it was a good
That's
fit
It's a perfect fit
Yeah.
for
for
her
her.
right from the beginning.
And she took off so quickly with it. You know, that was the
Yeah.
exciting part for Jenny. I mean, she came in all excited. I can do this, I can do that. She was doing newsletters and everything in the district, and we're like, wow. And so they quickly promoted her into more and more, you know, opportunities out there for her. And it was just like, whoa, Jenny's going places. When you think she's only a sophomore, so what's going to happen by her senior year? We're pretty excited
Right.
for her.
That's
You know,
great.
what the future's going to hold for Jenny in her chosen field, and she likes it.
And so what does this say about the program? I mean, what else would you like to do? You have a couple of kids involved, but
Right.
obviously there's probably more of a need
Yeah.
out there.
Right. This is our second year, so it's still pretty new. And so far things have ran pretty smoothly, but I think that we're always looking to develop new partnerships with employers. So we do have a job coordinator who does that through GECKO, but we try to get input from the students to see maybe where they would like to work, and we kind of look into different local employers that would support them. So it's kind of growing slowly but surely. So
It's a great positive way to connect with the community, for the school to connect with the community.
Yeah.
There's, you know, these kids go out knowing they're representing Charlotte High School. And so they're told right up front, you know, remember, you represent the school and make us proud, make yourself proud, and make your community proud. And it's been a two-way street. The community has really,
Yeah.
you know, enjoyed having them come in, and we haven't had any bad experiences so far. It's been all positive. So
That's
we're
great.
pretty excited about it.
Jenny, what have you actually learned in the classroom that you think you're actually using on the job? What kinds of things?
Filing stuff in certain orders. And
Do you use your English skills often? I mean, obviously for reading
yes.
things and filing and that sort of stuff.
She's responsible for answering the phone, so she had to read a written script that you follow when you answer the phone there.
it's not written. I've been memorized.
Okay.
There's no written, and we have to go by a phone book thing.
Okay. So she has to follow directions and be organized and professional. It's
And do
very
you have to
important.
write much? I mean, if you're reading, do you write much too?
Yeah.
do you take a lot of messages?
Oh yeah.
So it's a lot of responsibilities that come with this position.
Yeah, that's great. So,
Yeah.
so not only do kids get some experience on the job, but they're learning different things. I would imagine it's also different to learn to work with a lot of people who are older than you. It's kind of a different work environment because in school you're surrounded by people your own age, and it's a little different to be out in the workplace, isn't it? And so how do you help them prepare? How do you help students prepare for that workplace experience?
It depends sometimes on the student. With Jenny, she already had an existing relationship with a job coach, so that kind of helped her in her job placement. Other students, we try to make a match between their personality and what their skills are and what the job placement is. And we just try to monitor that. There is a task log, so students throughout the year, they learn 100 different job tasks, so that's kept track of. But I think, I'm trying to think, sorry, I don't remember.
Well, what do you say to parents who would think that maybe this is a good fit for their kids?
I would say I think it's a great fit.
We've had a lot of parents very excited about this and get on board. You know, I had one today that's going to start next year. The parents were pretty excited when we talked about it because it looks good on a resume. They're learning new skills, finding out whether that's the path they want to take. Like, for instance, we had a student this year that said, she wanted to work with children, and so we set her up in a daycare, and she came back the first day and said, oh my goodness, I do not like working with children. I don't want to do this. So it's a good way to find out, is this really what you want to do? And how many of us have ever had that opportunity in high school to do that? So it's very encouraging for these kids to have these chances to get out there and explore options and careers, that they might want to pursue, but may end up totally, no way, not going to do that. So it's been fun.
Yeah. Are there basic skills or things that you try to share with young people as they prepare for that first kind of job, to interact, to communicate, to be polite, all of those things. Talk a little bit about that.
We talk about this in class. You know, we had the students. We've even filmed the kids doing job interviewing. You know, how to interview for a job, how to fill out a resume, how to, you know, just answer phones, do things correctly, all these skills that these kids have to learn. There's just so much. So we do a lot of that in the classroom to prepare them.
Yeah.
Jenny had to go and meet people. And did you have to interview necessarily for your job, or did you just start right in? Your job coach took you in and you were...
I just started right in.
Okay.
But we've worked with Jenny, like how to fill out her resume, so, and we keep it, that's an ongoing thing, so that when she's ready, if she chooses to stay there, should that opportunity be presented to her, that would be great, but she may end up going someplace totally different.
Sure.
And with her will go all this wonderful resume and all these skills she has with her that will make her successful in a job somewhere, wherever she chooses.
Well, that's right. Other employers will look at any young person's resume to see what kind of work experience they have. And
Right.
I would imagine this program is successful so far because employers want to see young people with some diversity of experience.
And we're hoping it's going to lead to more summer employment for these students, because in the summer, you know, when employers are all looking for kids, you know, to come help them, here we've got kids with experience that they would gladly say, well, we're going to take you before we take somebody without experience. So that's an advantage for these students.
So what do the young people have to do to qualify and be part of this program?
Typically, they have to be 16 years old, and on top of that, they take a safety test, which they have to pass. And once that's done, that's pretty much it. And we kind of assess them throughout the program to see how things are going, and we talk to our job coach about once a week and kind of see how things are happening on the job site. And we visit the job site as well. So we, you know, if anything needs to be changed or if we need to accommodate them in any way, we will try to do that. But usually, I don't know, so far it's been just a really smooth, easy process. So.
And the students come back all excited. We
Yeah.
can tell, you
Great.
know, they come back before the school day is over, so we have a chance to say to them, how was your day? How did it go? You know, what well, what didn't go well? And it's always pretty positive. There's always going to be a bad day in there, like it was busy, or she had an incident where she was pretty shook where the police came.
Yeah.
They were doing a practice, was it a lockdown?
Practice lockdown.
Yeah.
That she didn't know about, and she handled it very well. She was shook, but she handled it.
Well, what happened, Jenny? Tell us the story.
2 state officers came in and says, do you know what you have to say for a lockdown? And I kind of knew because I typed out the form for the lockdown. So I told them, and they had me go over the PA and say it to go into a lockdown.
Good. And so that's real life
Yeah.
experience, even if it's a demonstration or practice rehearsal. So is there an in-class program that sort of coordinates with what's going on in the GECKO program?
We teach a health class, and within that, you know, part of that is
It's covered in that.
Yeah, it's
we
covered.
touch on the areas and
Yeah.
stuff.
We talk about social skills, and sometimes students do role plays and kind of act out and simulate different activities.
There's a lot of that goes on. And so we just want to prepare the students so that there's a variety of things that could happen and, you know, that might happen to you, but you just have to be prepared in any situation. You know, this is real world. This isn't in the classroom anymore. It's life outside the classroom. So everything can happen and nothing can happen, you know?
And you said a practice interview. How important is that, actually? Getting the job is an important first step, isn't it?
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
It's very interesting too, because when we do our practice interviews, we try to bring in another teacher or someone our students are not familiar with, because it makes it a little more authentic.
They're comfortable with us and not with somebody
they're
else.
definitely
Yeah.
comfortable with us. But I think for them, I mean, we talk about these things in class, and sometimes, you know, we have a really close bond with a lot of our students, and I don't know if they always take our advice to heart, but
They're
once we
serious.
bring someone in that they're not all that familiar with when they interview, they get kind of a more realistic idea of what it's like.
Yeah.
And it's serious, you know.
Sure.
Yes.
They start out giggly and like, oh, you know, and then they start getting serious, you know, like, you guys, this is what's really going to happen. They're going to ask you these questions, and what questions they can't ask you. You know, they need to know there are certain questions that no, legally they can't ask you those things. So it's a good experience for them to get prepared for the real life situation ahead of them.
Well, Jenny, what sort of advice would you give to students who might be thinking about trying to participate in this kind of GECKO program?
It's a good opportunity so they can go and get more job time experience
Experience.
for what they want.
And we talked about using your skills. You're using probably a lot of English skills, maybe some math skills as well. And the social skills of working with other people are things that you inherently have to know, but can also be learned on the job, right?
Mm-hmm.
Great.
And I don't know if you can tell with Jenny, she's a very shy person.
Yeah.
You know, and this is really out of her comfort zone
Yeah.
to do something like this interview,
Yeah.
or to be behind a desk answering a phone. That's a real step forward for someone like Jenny with this shy, quiet personality.
But we've definitely seen her blossom, and we've seen her grow in her, you know, so it definitely impacts her positively in the classroom too.
Well, great. Thanks for filling us in on the program. I appreciate everybody's participation.
Thank you.
On the GECKO program, tell me again what it stands for.
Giving Eaton County kids opportunities.
All right. Well, great. Well, thanks again.
Thank you.
I'm Bob Colt. We'll continue our conversations in Charlotte Public Schools.